Hey guys, welcome back to the Mopar Garage. Welcome to episode 1 of our Carroll Shelby Daytona project. Exciting stuff. I think first order of business, I'm gonna go through these boxes over here and kind of see what we've got inside. Looks like all new weather stripping for the T-tops in this bag. Original floor mats for the back. Got the Chrysler emblem on them. If you can see that, but they're all original. That's cool. This is the plastic surround for the driver's seat controls, window switches. That goes in the center console. So I've got an extra one of those. Door lock and power mirror controls that go on the door. Dome light. Another mirror control and lock control that goes on the passenger side. Another mirror and window control. Stick trim, some more trim for the interior. Speaker covers for the doors. The new tail light, which I need. Oh, bummer. This one's busted on the inside. Bummer. So I got 2 broken passenger side tail lights. More plastic interior trim. Original owner's manual. Wow. Original leather T-top bags. Some kind of intake tube. It's got a hole in it. Must have been replaced. Washer fluid tank, it looks like. Another rear view mirror. So this is all the stuff that fastens on the A-pillar that I lost. So basically, to summarize, we got a ton of electronic parts, interior trim, marker lights, tail light, and unfortunately, there was a kit of fasteners for the passenger side A-pillar, which is what we lost. So he must have known it was loose already and was going to repair it and never did. This really sucks because despite my early analysis, or earlier optimism, I should say, I cannot find that. It is, I mean, I've looked everywhere. Forums, eBay. That's a real bummer. That's got me really bummed out that we lost that side, especially since we have the fasteners sitting right there. Anyway, let's go through the car. Start from the back. It does have all the original badging still. Turbo Z. This taillight is damaged. I do have a replacement. That one's also damaged, but I think you can find those. The hatch, it needs struts to hold the hatch up. It does have the rear wiper with the washer mechanism, which is super uncommon on these. And let's crawl underneath for the first time. Let's see what we see. This is just in fantastic shape under here. I mean, incredible. Exhaust is good and quiet on it. I mean, it's got a little throaty note to it, but no leaks or it's just got that stock kind of throatiness to it. If we go under the car, on the side of it, you can see how clean all this is. I mean, this stuff where the body meets the, I got one little spot here, it looks like. Might be a little soft, that's okay. Usually where the body meets the unibody here, this whole seam is rusted right out, and it is in great shape on this one. Exhaust, like I said, is in great condition. Yeah, I mean, underneath this thing, it's awesome. Get underneath the other side of it. Pretty similar. Excellent shape, all things considered. This one does not have a soft spot in the back like the other side does. She is solid unibody. Nice. Exterior, the body is super straight. I mean, I don't think there's a dent in this thing or a ding in this thing. I have that trim piece. Carroll Shelby badges are in really good shape. The wheels are in good shape for the age of it. They'll clean up really nice. These are really rare wheels, these gold ones. Obviously, all the plastic components are faded, the wing, but it does have that sweet wraparound wing option. The Turbo Z sticker on this trim is mostly gone. I have found a couple of those. The Chrysler emblem on the hood is in good shape. Chrysler emblem on this side is good. I am missing this trim right here, it looks like. The Turbo Z sticker on this side is in good, not good shape, but it's all there. Again, no dents or dings in this thing. Am missing some mirror glass on the passenger side. Headlights are all in really good shape. Marker lights are in good shape. I think everything works. Interior wise on this thing, I have, like I was showing you guys, I have a bunch of these. God, it smells like the 1980s in here. Dashboard is in excellent condition. Speaker covers in good shape. All this leather's in pretty good shape. Actually, great shape. Steering wheel isn't too bad. Gauge cluster, obviously we know our RPM gauge doesn't work, but it's all in really good shape. It's got the original radio in it, which I love. The front seats definitely showing some wear, but the back seats are in excellent condition. Almost new, really. Haven't looked in the glove box yet. Let's see what's in here. Oh, original manual. This little badge is in good shape. The shifter moves hard. Linkage needs to be greased up on it or something, because when it's side to side, it really moves kind of tough. We got another one of these things, as I showed you. This has your rear window controls, defrosts, front windows, driver seat adjustment. Let's see if that works. Yep, it works. Wow, that is awesome. Boost gauge works. Heat, I haven't tried. It does. I did find under the hood when I was looking at it to buy it, there is a vacuum line that's disconnected, or broken. So we'll need to look at that. I don't know if the heat works or not. AC, it doesn't have a belt to the compressor, but we'll go over that in a second. Yeah, radio, original radio, which I'm thrilled about. Cup holders are still all there. Ashtray. I mean, this thing is really good shape. Oh. Awesome. Carpet in that dome light, which we have a replacement of, but the headliner's in excellent condition. This thing is actually really good condition. This all works. When the key's on, it shows you what doors are open, that kind of thing. Low fuel light works. The gauge does read empty even when it's running, so I don't know if it's just out of fuel or if that gauge doesn't work, but we'll find that out. Carpet is actually in really good shape. Let me pop a light on here. Okay, we got our light on now. This carpet is in excellent condition. It's got towels everywhere, which tells me the T-tops probably leak. The guy said that the T-tops didn't leak, but we all know T-tops leak. Yeah, this thing is... Horn works. Crawling underneath the front of the car. I thought I saw all this water Because of course we towed it in the rain yesterday, and I thought that there was some oil leaks, but it's just water. I believe, let me see what that one further in is. Yep, just water. Pretty dry under here. It's got a little seep right here. This is on the transmission. A little seep. Looks like it runs ATF. I think it's pretty dry under here. That's a real surprise. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's just because it's so 80s, but this little vent setup in the hood goes down to a little tube. Here, I'll show you. And it cools the turbo, I would assume, is what that's for. Yeah, yep. The tube goes right down to where the turbo's at. That is super cool. I love that. I don't know why. I love those little quirky things. Under the hood here is the holy grail of American muscle. The 2.2 liter 4-cylinder T1 engine. So T1 signifying it is turbocharged. This thing's gonna be super easy to work on. It's got this little tiny Garrett T3 turbo right there. It is turbocharged, but not intercooled. So 146 horsepower, I believe is what it has. This guy right here is our AC compressor, is not hooked up. So it's got a non-AC belt on it. So I'd assume that's no good. I don't really mind AC because we got the T-tops, right? It's in the 80s. We don't need AC. A little light here underneath the hood works. That's cool. Valve cover seeps, but that's really not that bad. Well, it's kind of seeping down in there. Yeah, we'll do a valve cover gasket. Timing belt, I would assume needs to be done. This is a non-interference motor, meaning if that timing belt goes bad or if it breaks, it's not good. The valves aren't going to hit the piston, so we're good. It is a non-interference engine. But I think this thing is so easy to work on. I mean, I think that timing belt's going to be pretty simple to do. Of course, what would an 80s car be without multiple belts, right? So we got this belt running the alternator, a separate belt that runs the AC, and then yet another belt that runs our power steering pump. That belt looks pretty. Let's see if I can get in here. Does not look the best. If I can focus, yeah. It's our power steering belt. So it's a 3-belt setup, which is kind of cool. Distributor, incredibly easy to get to. We might as well do cap and rotor on that. Look right where the oil filter is. That's awesome. Man, I wish they still made stuff like this. We'll probably do plugs and wires in it. What's cool about these engines, these T1 engines, is they are injected and exhausted on the same side, which is cool. Man, I really don't see a whole lot with this thing. It does have, I did mention, I think, to you guys, let's zoom this out. I did mention this vacuum line. Got to figure out what that does, because that, I would assume, is supposed to connect to that. So I got to kind of trace that, see what that is. Obviously, I would guess heat and AC control, cruise control, something of that nature has got to be what that is. But man, this thing is, I think that tank I found in the box is, but judging by the shape, I think it was a coolant overflow, not a, wow, this might be the original radiator. This thing's only got 91,000 miles on it. The guy had bought it with 72,000 miles back in 1992. Let's see what the air filter looks like. Pulled the air filter out, it needs one. Came right out of our airbox that is extremely proud of fuel injection. We're also very proud of our turbo. You gotta love this 80s stuff, man. The 80s is just so quirky. It is my favorite automotive era. I don't know. My favorite car is a 1970 Challenger. So it might be this. I don't know. I love the 80s anyway. This thing is, I mean, it's in pretty damn good shape. Everything's there. I mean, what a weird, it's our ignition coil. What a weird way to route everything though, right? We've got all these vacuum lines. Here's that tube. Forced induction tube here that I found in the boxes over there. So this had been replaced. I would guess that this battery lead had worn into it over time. That's what wore that old one out. Or maybe that battery lead, probably that battery lead actually. Our electrical system is pretty tidy. We don't have a rat's nest, which is, in these old cars, I'm always terrified of finding a rat's nest of wiring. Brake booster looks like it's in really good shape. Man, this thing is thermostat housing. Looks pretty darn old. I think I want to get one of those. Cool thing about this car is, since it's a Shelby, it's really hard to find parts like this, or T-tops, or the wheels, right? The badges, that kind of stuff. But at its heart, this is a Chrysler 2.2, super common engine. It was in like a million vehicles, and it's extremely easy to find parts for. A crate motor for this thing is only like $1,900. Pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's, you know what? Let me jack it up and check the front end. I want to check ball joints and stuff, so we'll do that actually. But so far, I haven't found anything that alarms me with this. Ball joints are tight. So one of the things Carroll Shelby did to this car was different struts. Those look original. Maybe we'll do some calipers on it as long as they're readily available. One of the cool things about these cars is they torque steer big time because the CV axles are different lengths on either side, which is kind of fun. That is a ripped CV boot there. So we'll need to do a CV axle, I think. When we do that, we might tackle this seal here is just seeping a little bit. This guy here is seeping a little bit. I mean, they're not active leaks, but we'll probably do those when we do the CV joint, because that's really the only, ball joints look tight. It's really the only bad part. These brake lines look newer than 1986. Maybe they've been done. Control arm bushings are, deteriorated a little bit, but there's no play there. Wow. Let's pop the other side up. All right, we've got our left side jacked up. The struts, although they appear to be original, they're not leaking on either side. Good and dry. Let's give this thing a little shakedown. I could not get enough of these gold wheels, man. They're so cool. So 80s. Dude, this thing's all there. No play. Definitely gonna need tires. This one's in pretty good shape, but most of them are dry rotting. Let's crawl underneath. See how different this CV axle is than the other one? See how much longer it is? that causes serious torque steer, which is a characteristic of these things that you just come to know and love. This brake line might be the original one. The other one looked new. Those calipers, I mean, I don't think they're original. They could be, but I don't see any rips on the CV boot on this side. What is this here? It's got this super cool little little strut in the middle right here. Huh. That's cool. Okay, just looking underneath. Presumably our water pump. I would imagine. Yep. Water pump. Oil pan's dry. Man, this thing is... let's see. Control arm bushings. Those feel pretty good. No play in them. Wow. I am thrilled. I am pleasantly surprised. I expected more wrong with this car for what I paid for it. Speaking of that, I am just so thrilled to have, this is one of my dream cars, and I know it's, you know, it's an 80s Dodge. It's not, you know, not most people's dream cars. And it's not an A-level dream car. You know, A-level dream car would be 1970 Dodge Challenger, 96 Viper GTS. It's kind of that B-level dream car, which is, you know, our second gen over there. A 12-valve Cummins second gen, the Shelby Dodge. You know, that B-level B-level dream car where you can, you know, they're attainable and it's something realistic to own. But ever since I discovered that these Carroll Shelby Dodges existed, they have been a dream car of mine. So it is so cool to have one. The overboost, valve cover gasket, CV boot, CV axle, the tachometer, tires, and I'll probably throw brakes on it. And that's really all this thing needs. And a stupid plastic A-pillar cover that is evidently impossible to find. I think that pretty much wraps up this video, guys. I expected to find more wrong with this thing. My brother and I, he's got a completely mint 84 Camaro. We're talking about doing a power tour, which is, I think it's like 800 miles or 900 miles or something. You drive kind of across the country, stop at different tracks, do different events. So one of the reasons I bought this vehicle is because I wanted me and my brother to be able to do this. If it's not this year, hopefully next year, but this year is definitely the goal. So I honestly expected a lot more to be wrong with this thing for the price that I paid for it. So I'm thrilled. I mean, obviously we're gonna do a paint job. Obviously we're gonna work on dyeing this stuff back to black. Gonna get little stickers and stuff that are, you know, that one sticker is missing, the other side is there, but I want to replace both of them. Other than that, really not a whole lot. Oh, struts for the rear hatch, passenger side mirror glass, you know, little stuff, but I think we're gonna be cruising on this thing in no time. So it's pretty exciting. Next video, I have to order some parts and we'll kind of get going on this thing. Maybe start with the drivability stuff, start with the CV axles, brakes, stuff like that. Yeah, we'll get going on this thing. Exciting stuff. We'll see you guys in the next one.